normal.
It's normal to get pissed off.
That's never been a question. Ceuta and Melilla. When I posted that Ceuta and Melilla have never belonged to Morocco, I mean they existed even before the nation state of Morocco was created. Many people were telling me, excuse me, let me rephrase. I said that any Moroccan living in Spain who has nationalist claims from Morocco over Spanish territory should be expelled immediately. Because we can't afford the luxury of having a fifth column. That is, with a country with which we have geopolitical tensions, we shouldn't allow people living here who would side with that country in the event of a conflict. I think this is something obviously logical.
But not Ceuta, Melilla, the Rift area, or the northern region. That hasn't been Morocco. That hasn't been Ceuta, Melilla, Al Hoceima, or the entire Rift area. That's the Rift.
And the Riffians don't want to belong to Morocco.
Most Riffians don't want to belong to Morocco. And most Riffians don't express that desire publicly because of the repression they could face from the Alawite regime. There have already been many Riffians who have led activist movements and have been imprisoned. Just for saying that it's not Morocco and that it's the Rif. It's up to them to decide if it's Morocco or the Rif and whether they're closer to Spain or Morocco. That's up to them. There are Riffians exiled in Algeria because they can't be in Moroccan territory. There are Riffians exiled in Spain because they can't be there in Moroccan territory, because they are persecuted and imprisoned. In the best case, and if you are already a well-known person in the movement, they might try to find a crime you haven't committed. Many journalists who oppose the Alawi regime have also faced accusations like sexual abuse or theft simply to imprison them.
So neither
Ceuta, nor Melilla, nor anything around them.
Moroccan.
That Melilla is older than Navarra. Are you going to tell me right now that that was Morocco? That has never been Morocco. Morocco never existed there.
That's what I want to talk about here. These claims over these territories exist. We're not making them up. They're not far-right rumors.
It's just one more tool of hybrid tactics and hybrid threats triggered by Morocco, planting these ideas among its population. All those non-existent ideas and delusions, from educational centers to social networks, using key activists who keep telling you that this is a Spanish occupation and that it needs to be recovered. But of course you tell that to those 20-year-old kids who don't know the history of their small country. Because I insist Morocco is nothing if you take away the Rif, and if you take away the Sahara, it's nothing. But of course, to teenage kids, you fill their heads with all those dreams, all that expansionism, and they buy into it because it sounds great, because that's how they paint it, but they say that Greater Morocco starts at the plateau and ends in Mauritania.
That's how they sell it to you, of course.
There are maps.
Some maps show it starts on the Spanish plateau.
There are maps from Andalusia to Mauritania. The great Morocco dreamed of, that's an expansionist dream. That dream appeals to some young people there. In fact, every time I criticize Morocco or defend Ceuta and Melilla, defend the Canary Islands, defend the Sahara, my posts get flooded with Moroccan ghost accounts telling me that they're going to take it back. They claim the Canary Islands, Ceuta, Melilla, and Al-Andalus all belong to them.
Something similar happened, that everything belongs to them.
That everything belongs to them. Basically everything. I mean, it's a very well-rooted expansionist dream among the Moroccan population. When there are problems in Morocco, when there's social unrest, this comes in really handy to calm those urges and uprisings. Hey, focus on our expansionist project. Don't shoot at the regime that's going to help you build Greater Morocco. And in short, that's the ideology that's put into everyone's heads of all those young people, and Morocco is a country with great demographic expansion. And if you keep doing that to all those young people, that practice, that lobotomization, that lobotomy, there constantly you end up with an army of kids who believe that Greater Morocco is a territory bigger than Europe.
But then the question I'm going to ask you here is, to what extent is it our fault? That expansionist delusion on the part of the Moroccan state?
Man, it's our fault. It's because we allow them to keep making public statements in that direction. But not just from people in Morocco, but also from former socialist leaders who bring it up to you. Well, former leaders and current leaders, let's talk about the former leaders like Bono, like Zapatero, who organize any congress in the Canary Islands or strategic places and tell you that, well, it's the same. We need to think about the idea that there should be a decolonization process in Ceuta and Melilla. More or less, that's what former socialist leaders have put on the table. Check newspaper archives and you'll find it there. And then we have a foreign minister like Alvarez, who has repeatedly said that the best solution for the Sahara issue is the one proposed by the Kingdom of Mohammed VI.
And that solution is for it to be annexed to Morocco, of course?
Basically, that's the solution. That's the solution, Morocco. They can change how it looks or sounds with more or fewer drawings. But that's the solution. Because if the solution were different, if the solution were similar to what international treaties consider, Morocco would leave the occupied territories to look for a solution, but it continues to occupy territories. And if you display a Saharan flag anywhere they have a strong presence, be careful, okay? Be careful, because the least that can happen is getting arrested and put in prison. Then if no one sees you, they might just shoot you just for carrying a flag of the country you're in.
And you? What solution do you see to all this? Rubén, what solution do you see to all this?
Man, me? The solution I see is to have a decent government, one that triangulates diplomatically or otherwise, that breaks off relations with a blackmailing country like Morocco. They're thinking of opening it again, right? To restore the very good relations we've had in the past with Algeria, and to get to work on a solution for immigration and a solution on a geopolitical level. Because Algeria, if I'm not mistaken, has seven common borders with Africa. You have to see the territory of Algeria. You have no idea of the level of immigration that moves through Algerian territory, of what arrives here in Spain from Algeria. It's at least a 10, if not higher, you know? That's what gets here. Out of everything that's going on,
only 10% goes through Algeria.
And they're not asking us for anything to do what they're doing. It's a country that's aware that illegal immigration and the movement of illegal people doesn't bring anything good for the country. No change in terms of security, crime, or in any way.
And 90, where does it go through? Rubén, no?
It's not that 90 doesn't reach the north of Argelia. Veil goes down again because Argelia controls illegal immigration.
Territory. So my question is, of what arrives in Spain, only 10 comes from Argelia, right?
Of what moves in Argelia, only 10 escapes. That's what I'm telling you. I mean, the 90 is controlled by Argelia without asking us for anything in return. So you have a country there that has been doing things right for many years.
Morocco.
What is Morocco going to do? Morocco uses them to put pressure on us. And now with all this about the Gordo case and everything else, we have also seen messages where a superior officer of the national police acknowledges that Morocco has tried to suffocate the Canary Islands. But Morocco...
It has completely suffocated them, not just tried.
Well, and it has suffocated Ceuta, and it has suffocated Melilla. Every time it wanted to put pressure on different Spanish territories with people, it has done so completely. Costa Catitanas in 2018. The thing is, we have very little memory. We analyze the problem very little. The people who take part in televised debates have no damn idea. And I say it clearly, except for a few people who have said, let's deal with this problem with a bit of sanity. Samuel Vázquez, Carlos Paz, and Roberto Vaquero are doing it. There are a lot of people saying, look, this isn't about spitting. We're not going to analyze the causes. We're going to analyze everything that's happening, and we're going to put the truth on the table. Without mincing words, but also without making things up. No, they're either unnecessary or true, okay? political strategies that don't do us any favors either. If you want not only to raise awareness among the public, but also to confront a problem of this nature, you have to address it with common sense, with knowledge, and by tackling the root of the problems.
And by accepting reality.
And ultimately by accepting reality and not deceiving yourself. It's just that with people